Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be covering the Chieftain Prototype, the Tier 9 brand new Chieftain that's coming into the game. So now there's a Tier 8 medium tank, there's a Tier 9 heavy tank, and there's a Tier 10 heavy tank. Very good, but still not the actual historical one, because of reasons. Anyways, before we get into anything, I know the first thing anybody's going to be wondering and asking is it good? Is it overpowered? Is it broken? What is it? Is it awful? Is it bad? Like, I will say that for newer players or players that aren't willing to like really min-max the thing, it's going to be mediocre at best. I think it's probably the strongest tier 9 premium in the game so far, personally, because the turret armor is just so solid. However, you know, the things that are holding it back are like the speed, the gun's kind of derpy. Yeah, really, those are the two things, really, the speed and the derpy gun. But everything else about the tank is really solid. So if you are a good player and you're willing to sink in things like a purple turbo, and you've got it field modded and you're running food, if you're willing to do those things, then it can be a real problem. And I think then it really kicks this up a notch a lot more than most other tanks. So, but I don't think it's going to be like super broken OP. I also don't think it's bad. I think maybe it's probably right in the middle, probably fairly balanced, and then really good players are going to be able to maybe make this unfun for you to play against, to be honest, because for the same reason that the tier 10 chieftain is unfun to play against, because it's so fast and it has such good armor, right? Well, if you put a purple turbo on this thing, all of a sudden it's pretty darn fast, and it's still got a almost as strong turret. So anyways, we'll get into the stats and let's go from there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and compare this to a STRV K, one of the other tier 9 premium heavy tanks, which again I said was not that great if you remember that review back in the day, but also that it would probably be the first ones that people didn't freak out about overpowered tier 9 premium tanks and stuff. And so I do think that this is better than the STRV K, only because, whatever, we'll get into it here, but basically it's got, you know, slightly better penetration on standard rounds and I think premium rounds too. Let me see here. 310 premium and 310 premium. Exactly the same premium penetration. Same kind of 2000 DPM. The DPM does let it down, right? It's basically, you need to make your shots count because the reload is kind of 400 alpha is fine, yada, yada, yada. It sacrifices gun handling, right? Gun handling is not as good as the STRV K. And it's also, it's hard to say. It's about as fast as the STRV K because I wouldn't call the STRV K fast. It's about as fast as the STRV K. But the main thing here is the top speed is 35, is limited. So in a lot of ways, it feels a little more, it is, unless you work at it, that STRV K is going to be faster. So you sacrifice speed, you sacrifice gun handling, and what do you get for it? You get this. You get a way, way better turret armor and armor profile, and also lower fire chance and so on and so forth. So like, there are things to like about this tank. Let me see, where's the actual ammo rack? Ammo rack is the same. I got ammo racked once. I wondered if it was low. But it's a solid little thing. The big thing is like, I think that the STRV K, if you look at the armor model of the STRV K, the turret is okay, but it's not awesome, right? This is all relying on armor angles, right? 215 is not a lot. Most tier 8s can tap, either can with their standard rounds or definitely with their premium rounds can get through this, but it all relies on this angle. So if you're just a little bit above it, or if somebody's not doing the things right, this armor is not that great. So because of that, you kind of have to limit your exposure time. You have to poke up, shoot, and then pull back. You can't just sit there and aim. Compared to, for example, this Chieftain Prototype, where I can go ahead and tap 2. And what are you going to do about this? Fucking nothing. You're not going to do anything about this. 400 effective, 330 effective. Tier 10 medium shooting premium rounds, right? 340 penetration is a 50-50 through this, right? So it's really, really solid. You have a bigger turret or a bigger cupola, but it's about the same size as a STRV K, and it's still not what I would call large. So I would say because the armor is so much better, you have a lot more comfort. You can poke up on a ridge, take your time and aim, and then hit the shots without worrying nearly as much about taking a hit in return, because you have much more reliable armor. And that's why tanks like the FCM 50T, right? They say, people, I feel it. I feel like, oh, this gun doesn't feel that good. even though statistically it's the same as some other guns that feel way better. And why is that? Because the 50T doesn't have shit for armor, so you can't sit and expose. You have to, you know, poke up, snap, and pull back. And so because of that, your window of opportunity to shoot something and not be shot back is very small. Well, with this, your window of opportunity to shoot something and not be shot back is like infinite, because as long as you're using a hill, you're hull down, you're hiding your cupola, God forbid you're using any gun depression at all, game over. I mean, there's this little bit below this, right below the gun, where it kind of flattens out, but that's small. That's hard to hit. So for all intents and purposes, if you're using any gun depression at all, you are basically immune. And that's why I think that if you are using like a turbo or something that allows you to get into these positions where you can use the turret armor and be hull down and use ridges and stuff, it's going to be really, really annoying to play against for the same reason that the tier 10 is. And although the gun is worse, yes, it is worse than a AE phase 1, and it's worse than a what the heck is the thing? The STRV K. Because you have the armor, we're doing the armor first, by the way. Or I guess we already talked about the stats, and now we're already on the armor. I didn't even talk about it. Because the armor is so much better, it allows you the comfort of being able to fully aim your shots and not having to rush the shots. So yes, the gun is a little on the derpy side, but I'll take that all day. I don't know. I think that the armor is so effective that I'm willing to forgive a lot. So that's kind of where it is. It's got a standard, it's got a non-annoying crew layout. I like that they've got the same crew layout with the loader, 4-man crew where the loader is the radio op, and that's the same as, I believe, the same as all the tier 8, 9, and 10, the Super Conk, the Conqueror, and the Carnarvon all have the same. It's all the same, so that's great. Already better than the KTTS. So yes, I think the tank is solid. Maybe not that great for the game. I will say, all right, so now that we get to equipment, one of the things I'm going to show, equipment and field mods and stuff, there's a couple ways to kit this out. And one of the things I would recommend, and I mentioned this in the very beginning, if you have access to a pink or purple turbo, then you want to, that will define how you set this up. And I'm going to show you this clip real quick of what happens. I ran around, I played with some equipment layouts, and if you have a purple turbo, this is what happens. So let me just, let's to the beginning, me starting out on the game, and you can see with this purple turbo, notice next to the Concept 1B in my platoon, I'm basically keeping up with the Concept 1B, right? Concept 1Bs are pretty fast, right? Relative to most heavy tanks. He's pulling away a little bit, but I'm keeping up, right? And I'm doing 46. So that's just an indication. I just wanted to show this little clip that's just a few seconds long, just to show that, like, if you are willing to put, that's it. If you're willing to put a purple turbo on things or a pink turbo on things, that really changes how the tank behaves. So that's how I would, first and foremost, the field mods are this, always this, probably always the view range, and then this is, you know, if you don't have a pink turbo, then you probably want this and have a turbo in the mobility slot, or you can take this. I'm probably always picking this one. This one's debatable because you'll have the turbo, so you could probably make the argument for this one, just because then you can get the gun handling down a little bit. Gun traverse speed. Never mind, it's probably always going to be this one. So if you have a decent crew with some view range perks, which again is not hard to get because these tanks are great, and yada yada yada. If you are willing to do pink turbo, you do one of these, then I'm probably doing one of these, and then you definitely need a rammer because the DPM is so bad. This is how I laid mine out. It's not, the replay that you're about to see does not have this loadout. The replay you're about to see has vents, because I was just testing things, so it is definitely slower in the replay. But this is the way that I would, now that I've tested around with it, this is how I'm going to do it. And I like it a lot, right? You're going 40, and you can even go a lot higher than that. You saw me doing 46 or so in the actual. Okay, so I did want to just point this out. I'm going to cut from the Tanks GG thing because it's out of date. I realize it's out of date. The top speed in the game right now, and I'm assuming this is what's going to be released, is actually 40 with a reverse speed of 15. And so when I have a regular turbo, it's 44. With a improved slot, it's 45. With a purple, it's 46. That's what I played, and that's what I remembered. Tanks GG is out of date. It is actually faster than it looks on Tanks GG. So you don't even necessarily give up that much top speed. It's about as fast as a STRV K, except just with better armor. So We'll get back to the tanks GG now. Okay, so yes, with that in mind, note that this number is low. It's not what it should be. It's higher than this in the game, so this is out of date. So yeah, if you don't have access to the pink turbo, then I would just do, like we talked about before, I would probably have this be a turbo in a mobility slot with this. Otherwise, if you are okay with the slower tank, there's nothing wrong with doing it where you could maximize the gun handling. I know some people are doing that. There's nothing wrong with this. I just found the mobility to be more important because otherwise it does feel a little bit on the sluggish side. So that is what I would recommend. If you don't have a very good crew, you don't have the view skills, then obviously maybe pick, what I would do then is I would make this optics, and then make this be a V-stab. You always want to have a V-stab. Almost every tank in the game, you should have a vertical stabilizer. And this is no exception, because this it's kind of derpy. So that's it. Let's get into the game. All right, so we're going to go ahead and watch, we're starting out watching me playing in my Sheriff account, playing on the Chieftain Prototype on Westfield. I specifically picked Westfield because I just wanted to show what the tank could do, and it's just with anything that's got a good turret and good gun depression, Westfield is my kind of go-to. Not every game is going to be like this, but you can see the speed. Without the turbo and stuff, it's pretty sluggish, right? This is not the fastest tank in the world. But again, this is not with a loadout that has a turbo. So this is before I kind of discovered how good that was. But this is what you can expect if you don't have a turbo. And got the premium rounds because I'm just sick of messing around. But you notice how long the reload is, right? 400 alpha is fine, but just like the Lorraine 40T or Lorraine 50T, and I don't know where that shot went. I think I hit him in the side of the turret somehow. Just like the Lorraine 50T, just like the STRV K, and all those other tier 9 premiums, they really didn't want to make this crazy. And lower plate of the T95. I'm just disrespecting this T95's armor right now by using premium rounds. But again, because I'm hull down like this and I'm using some gun depression, I just get to sit here and aim, and I don't have to care about a T95. Like, there's a lot to be said here. And I don't even know, like... also, it's worth noting, because I'm in a Sheriff account, the artillery just want the gold. They want to just make it rain, so I'm going to be focused a lot in this game. So if it's frustrating to watch, just imagine what it's like to play in. So anyways, but just wait, I want the shot, and I'm not loaded fast enough. So I will say the DPM is a little bit lackluster. It is going to keep you from... Right, it's a very similar to like a tier 9 Conqueror, right, where the DPM is kind of blah. But again, I haven't been penned. Nobody's even shot at me, really, actually. But I throw one up into the somehow into the tracks and the hull of this 777. But it's not a bad tank. It's good support. You can't get in a little bit over your head. Otherwise they'll rush you, right? Because you don't have the DPM to fight them off. But it's nice and comfy. It's got good gun depression. I think the gun handling is okay when you're at short to middle range. Obviously, it's not really meant to be shooting 500 meter long shots, but somehow I just disrespected that. The T95 and the 777. I don't understand how that one penned, but I'll take it. Okay. And now I'm pretty sure that in this game nobody's been shot by anything at D1E1, so there's not anything there probably, so I can take this shot, and I feel okay about this. And here's the arty, and I figured I'm probably going to take a hit from this T95, but then our friends put a shot into him, so I'm able to get his lower plate, and he's just stuck there. And now we kill this STRV K as fast as we possibly can, which is not that fast, because that's just DPM things, right? So we sit here and we load, and then the STRV K realizes he's screwed, but he's going to try to take out our friends, and I'm going to be, oh my god. Just, look at that. I just penned the cheeks of the STRV K with standard rounds, right? So this is one thing. The STRV K, that's a thing, right? But nobody would pen my cheeks at my turret. So that's, oh my god, it's raining. It's just fucking raining artillery. So ignore that, I guess. But here we go. Now we've got another fold in the land that I can just sit here and be hull down and aim. So we're a little bit longer. This shot's a little bit longer. And it's just a little short. So you can see, right? I can see when people complain about the gun handling of this tank, they're not wrong. It is definitely not a super conqueror. It's not super snappy, but that's okay. I think it's okay. It's not. It's made to be close in, some close in shots. And if that really bothers you, you can definitely like put the improved aiming on there. You can fix the gun handling. Yeah, I'm just, again, this is a little bit slow because I don't have the turbo or any field mods, I don't think, either. So, it is what it is. But we've definitely won the game. It's 12-5. We're just going to run in here and try to clean some damage up. And I'm trying to just stay alive and not get farmed so I can show you guys some more stuff, right? But going down a hill, you see we're capped at 40 because I don't have that. I don't have the turbo. 47, 46, right? Even down this hill. So it's definitely, I remember thinking in this game that it was a little sluggish. But again, turbo makes just such a big difference. I was just, man. And we wait for the gun to reload some more. And yeah, I mean, just the penetration and the accuracy, I felt like it was a pretty competitive little package. And our T10 is going to run out there and find some artillery with his face while we pre-aim with 11 tanks. So let's just see. Wait for it. There he is. The artillery was alive when I shot, and he was dead before my shell got there. So that's pretty incredible. Yeah, so that's the tank. That's the tank. I think it's pretty solid. All right, so at the end of the game, we ended up taking home 4,337 damage. We had 800 spotting, or was that tracking? I don't know. And then we only blocked in 390. We were hull down most of the time. We had like 4 kills. It was an ace tanker, but I agree. I think that probably the ace requirements are going to change once this gets released to the general public. There was 1,322 base XP. I think ace requirements are going to go up, so that probably would not have been an ace tanker once it's been out and about. We did make some money, right? I did shoot a lot of premium rounds. I was just done with it. I was just trying to have a good game and show things, and it was late at night, so I probably did not need to shoot the premium that I did, to be honest. Actually, yes, I did. The T95 needed some premium, and also the penning of the STRV K. Whatever, doesn't matter. If you shoot standard rounds, which you totally can, you will make pretty good money because it's still a premium tank. If you don't, you will pen more shots, but you won't make as much money. It's not like you need the premium, but it's very good if you're willing to do that. So that's it. If you're looking at the Tanks GG stats, again, the top speed is lower than it is in the game and will be released, so it's not as slow. I do think this is a fairly solid tank. So, bring on the more powerful and more powerful and more powerful tier 9s. Yes, let's do it. Give me the pay to win, I guess, or whatever. That's what we're doing. So anyways, that's it for me, guys. Hopefully this helps you decide whether you want this tank or you want to do the gambling thing. Again, just like with the KTTS, they're going to introduce this with the the Waffentrager boxes that are some amount of money for gambling and stuff. And so if you don't want to do that, they're going to put this in the shop 6 or 7 months after they release it, just like always. So what is that, March or April or so, they'll put it on sale if you don't want to do the gambling thing. So just, if you want to just wait and see what people think of it after it's more released, that's also fine. Or after it's been released for longer, and you get more people's opinions of it after things have kind of cooled off and it's not the new hottest tank anymore. So anyways, that's it for me, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.